Good morning. Doing one in the raw again. Oh! I did an hour and 5 minutes or 2 minutes or something, and I can't get it to post. So I don't know if that's just going to go to waste or not. So here I am, this old dumb guy, thinking I got something really important here. Well, I'm not an old dumb guy thinking I got something really important here. I'm gonna turn this off and put a shirt on, I guess, just to be more respectful. There, back again. I'm just guessing that there's nobody all that excited about seeing my big fat sloppy tits and big fat belly. And I don't know why. I think that would be just the most appealing thing in the world. I'm at a dead-end street here. You know, how much would I love to see this go viral, which is what really should be happening. And then everybody in the world, the science and doctors and, you know, everybody, laymen, environmentalists, I don't care, the Peace Corps, just anybody and everybody that's interested in health. And this thing is one thing, and one thing only, it's health. And it's mental health and it's physical health. And the mental health, equally important with the physical health. And our spiritual beings is, you know, when I say spirit, I'm not talking about some spirits in the sky. I'm talking about the dog barking, that's spirit. And the children laughing and playing, that's spirit. And you know, we see an old friend or we're fishing, you know, that's spirit. So that's the human spirit, just like all the rest of the animals and their spirit. So, and our spirits are getting wound up with the physical aspects and the mental aspects of all these darn stimulants. And our species is being hurt terribly. You know, the geese don't have to deal with that, and the deer and the frogs or anything else, but we humans do, because of our mass consumption of stimulants, sugar and hybrid carbohydrates, and selectively bred carbohydrates, and the same old thing I keep pounding on here. You know, that's the cause of war. So yeah, obesity is a big thing, huge thing, and I'm dealing with that myself. And diabetes, huge, and Alzheimer's disease, cancer, huge, and all very much sugar related, and hybrid carbohydrate, just massive doses of all this stuff. The cultural breakdown in the 7 billion people, there's not enough can be said about that. You just look at what's going on in Israel and Palestine right now, and that's just one little tiny area of the planet Earth. You know, you go all through all the continents, and we wealthy Europeans, we do pretty well, and it's too bad that it's at the expense of so many other races other than white, and so many continents and so much land. I'm going to turn this off and go turn my steak over. Back again. And I got my steaks turned over. I've been taking to cooking my steaks more well done lately. than rare. I used to just brown them really heavily on both sides, but a thick steak is still totally raw in the middle. And now I'll go ahead and cook them a little more, and I seem to like them a little better that way. And I was saying earlier, I did an hour and 5 minutes yesterday or the day before. I'm trying to get it up, and it's right now. It's on the web, trying to go through the YouTube process. And the last time that happened, which was the film before this, I was able to get through the hurdles and get it posted. Now, I don't know if this one's going to or not. If not, I got this one here, and I'll have to skip that one. But it's the same old song. You can listen to the first recording here, and if I do 10,000 of these, and some of them are 10 minutes and some of them are 10 hours, and speaking 50,000 engagements, the whole thing is in a nutshell here. This thing is simple. It's very simple, and it's hybrid carbohydrates and sugar causes adrenaline, like body chemistry, and in that state of high, where our hearing is enhanced and our feelings and our senses, and because we're in a flight or run, they say, a fight or run, fight or flight, or however they say it, in this adrenaline mode. And then, but now the dangers, there's not a danger here, so now we're into just to the high. Maybe that would be more of a high like we have in a sexual encounter with we see a pretty girl we like her, she's liking us, and then we're young, maturing, and adrenaline. You know, adrenaline takes a lot of forms. It isn't always danger by a long shot. If we, you know, something is exciting and there's something going on we want to get to, you know, our adrenaline comes up, and off we go to get to that. Maybe we're going to go to the fair. Boy, they got a fair going on in town here now. But the adrenaline state is going by nature up and down as it should. And when we keep taking all these sugars and hybrid carbohydrates from birth, or right after birth, and continuously, and then of course we become addicted. We're totally addicted, the 1,000 addictions. And I named that 1,000 addictions after 1,000 trails. It used to be a timeshare outfit out west. I always liked the name 1,000 Trails, and they told me it was from they used to go to the ocean, and there was all these little trails through the sand dunes, and they used to call them 1,000 Trails because they just going everywhere. And the kids of these wealthy people that had these lake and ocean side cabins and stuff and resorts would ride those trails, and so one of the developers chose that name and got very rich. But I've always liked the name 1,000 Trails. So this is 1,000 addictions, and you could say 10,000 addictions. But and it's expressive because that's what it is, and it's you could well say every person on the planet Earth. Now the beauty in this is, if you could call it beauty. If you were to go back only 500 years ago, probably 2/3 of the planet Earth was still on the diet, been eating the same way they had been eating for 1 million years, 10 million years, whatever it is, 150 million, okay? Up till 500 years ago. Like the Americas, for instance, both continents, end to end, you know, with the exception of the Aztec, Inca, Maya. I'm not sure where the time frames come in for those, but I had gotten into the growing and harvesting and hybriding of potatoes and corn and a bunch of other, I think, tomatoes and squash and I don't know what all others. And but other than that, though, all these continents, you know, were gathering food from the woods and in the wild, and catching fish and birds and different animals and different plant life, and it was great. It was healthy, and the people lived magnificently, and they lived to be 100 years old. See, people have a hell of a time with that. Oh no, these are just sickly, diseased people that died when they were 30. They were lucky if they lived to be 40. And half the babies died at birth, and then half more of them died before they were 5 years old. And that's all bullshit. Africa, Australia, and the Americas, and the planet Earth. I don't care what island, Philippines, or in Europe, before this modern hybrid carbohydrate age and these migrations and unbelievable massive takeovers and stuff and the killing and then the mixing of everything and everybody eating foods that they weren't normally eat and living lifestyles that they wouldn't normally live and this whole infancy of the modern last 1,000 years would be a good one to pick on. That'd be 500 years before Columbus. And it's turned us into this, what we are now, which we think is just exceptional. Just like that king thinks he's just exceptional. All these people serving him and we could do that exceptional thing if continents of people, huge continents, of people starving and diseased and overpopulated, and while we're in the land of luxury and building condominiums and resort homes and retirement communities, and we're so great, and we have the newest of the cars, and we go to the newest of restaurants, and we have wine, and we have all of our fine coffees in China, and we're just in this land of luxury. And I'm talking Europe and North America and Canada and there's other major regions throughout all the continents now, mostly through European colonialism and influence. And all this faith and religion thing, and it's all bullshit that is, and the people call us tree huggers, and the people that talk about the environment and global warming, we're just a bunch of fools. We're going to go 7 billion, 10 billion. We're going to have all these cars, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing with the water and the air and the food, and this is just going to go on forever. And it's not. And the price that's being paid, my personal family, the price that's been paid and being paid, and 10,000 other families out there, and tens of thousands and millions of children and their families, and uprooted and upset, and drugs just rampant, and distorted sexualities, and no values, and no goals, and no existence. Them little ducks, they follow that goose, or the ducklings, and the gooselings for the goose, and the little squirrels, and the little rabbits, and they're just bouncing around, and they're getting food like their moms and their dads, and they're there to protect them and help nurture them, and they get them up and grown, and pretty soon they'll get a mate, and they'll have some more, and they're just living wonderful lives. They too are having to breathe this contaminated air and this contaminated water, and this contaminants come down amongst all the plant life and the grasses and stuff, and eventually it's taking a toll on them, and then disrupting their land colonies and whatnot. We're just doing that more and more and more. But the human is really taking a shit kicking. When they talk about China and 400 million lives that they've had taken or stopped or destroyed in order to control that population. And then now what's going on in these little nuclear cultures of the mom and the dad and the one son, and those that have done this atrocity and blocked it out like they didn't do anything wrong, killing baby girls, and the Chinese people, that's not where their heart is, and that's not where their spirit is. But they were bright enough to realize that it's not sustainable. They didn't know what else to do. And I'm not saying that their solution was the right solution or a good solution or a solution. I'm saying that's what they did in their disruption. I don't know what would have been going on with China in its true existence if it hadn't been for all the hybrid carbohydrate. Rice is hybrid carbohydrate from the word go. I mean, you get a bag of rice, you got a bag of sugar. So you're eating rice, and then tea. They're big on tea. And other starches and vegetables, and then they use far less meat because of this enormous populations. So that's just an example of the planet Earth is what China is, and isn't people are not bad people. They're doing and done what they've had to do, and they've made all these adjustments with this sugars and starches and this adrenaline effects. and tried to rein them in and bring about governments that could manage this. And, in Russia and South America and Africa and the Middle East and the whole entire planet Earth is caught up in this nightmare. And there's no good end in sight. And I simply believe that if we take what I'm bringing forward here and put it on the table and say, okay, it's all stimulants, it's all adrenaline driven. Okay, let's just let that sit there for a while now, and other people come along and say, yeah, I see what he's talking about, and this is all driven. And so what is life? Well, the God is life. Well, there's no God, and so life is the eagle and the bear, the wolf and the fox and the rabbit and the frog and the toad and the bumblebee and all the creatures and the humans, raising our young, living in family environments. And working with our food sources and protection from the elements and stuff, so we don't freeze to death in the winter, and enjoying life. That is just immense. But that's not what we're doing by a long shot. We're doing that in the framework of luxury and wealth, and there's the see me thing. Everything is build lawns so that people could see their lawns all mowed and see their shoes. They say in Europe, it used to be in America too, the clothes make the man. So here's this very well tailored, in all aspects, whether he's sitting on the horse or whether he's walking down the street with his cane and his top hat, from a dead beaver, and all this sophistication in the women and their dresses and their maybe suits if they're doing businesses, and so all this see me, and that ties into this schizophrenic everybody see, everybody look, everybody, and people come in, we'll show them our nice yards and our barbecues, and we'll tell them the different brands. And I remember George Hamilton. It was an old movie in the 60s, and I can't remember, she was a beautiful young actress with him on that. And he's got these shoes, Florsheim, and these pants, and this tie from Getty or something, and this here shirt, and this watch, and all these sophisticated things. And of course, he's hiring a kite on his coffee and tea and toast that he's had in the morning there, and he's had alcohol in the evening, and stimulant, see me. I was wanting to touch on that see me thing. That's not normal. Normal, yeah, we're here, and that's good. And maybe when something's going on, people will have more focus and more attention on one another. But I'm talking about the natural one, and showing off. Sure, showing off is a natural thing, and to the natural extent. But it's that exaggerated, 24/7, nonstop. And that adrenaline from the sugar, hybrid carbohydrates, alcohol, nicotine, caffeine. Adios, amigo.